Welcome to episode 99 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube, as always, with me, host Stephen Loeffler at Junkwax Twins.
Grade 99 in Madden.
Yes, Ben Wilson at our trading cards. And I'm Tim Scheffler at Big Shep 79. We're a podcast by collectors for collectors. I'm going to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central.
YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live, like everywhere. Follow us on Twitter About the Cards. Will be available as a podcast everywhere. Check out the website aboutthecards.wordpress.com. We have a special guest host tonight, John Newman, at Sports Card Natty 1 on Twitter. He's the host of the Sports Card Nation podcast, Hobby Hotline. He's also got Hobby Quick Hits, and he's part of Roughing the Passer. And he loves the PC. Some guy named Jackie Robinson and Mean Joe Green. What's up, John? How are we doing tonight, bud?
What's up, man? I'm on the Wayne Gretzky episode, apparently, number 99.
The Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Judge, yeah.
Taco Fall, the guy that plays for the Celtics, right? And he were George Mikan. Some of the great 90s.
Was he 99? Was George Mikan 90?
Yeah, Dan Hampton. Yeah, Dan Hampton wore 99 for the Bears. Let's see other great 99s. Warren Sapp wore 99.
Oh yeah,
99 is a good number.
I like it. The next one's a big 100, though.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a big 100. We're gonna do it at drive-through strip club, and
why couldn't I have been on that one? They could have just waited a week.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think we're gonna find one of those. But guys, how's it been this week in collecting? It's been we live in a wild world right now in the collecting world, don't we? This hobby has lost its flipping mind.
11-year-olds are becoming millionaires, which I know we'll talk about. 17-year-old cousins want to get off their couch and make a quick buck. And here we are spending 300% over what we could have bought the same shit for last month.
When 90 Fleer becomes hot, when 90 Score is on fire, when 90 Upper Deck is in fuego, when Mark McGwire is worth $10 million a card.
It is crazy. I was watching some I was going to go grab some 87s, like a last batch at like $1.25 a piece, which I consider high. I had like 25 in my Sport Lots watch list for like a week, and I was like, I don't want to pull the trigger. I didn't have to because somebody went and snagged it out from underneath me, and I'm like, oh, dear Jesus. I'm sure it's just a flip opportunity.
Do you think that show's going to like have a trampoline effect with McGuire and Sosa stuff?
It already has. I mean, the prices are just, the other night I got lambasted on Twitter because I had made a comment as a quote tweet. I meant no disrespect to the guy selling the card, but he's selling something for $300 you could buy last week for $20, and people are like, "Oh, leave him alone. He could sell at the top of the market." And I was just like, "No, my words were meant for the buyers. Don't buy right now. It's a horrible time to buy.
Yep.
Wait out the wave. A lot of these prices will jump back down. They'll drop precipitously and call it 60, 90, 120 days. Who knows? But by the end of the summer and if you didn't want a 1985 McGuire at any point in the last 35 years, I don't think right now is the best time to go out and decide you want one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see it like what just happened with Jordan, but it's crazy. Like Tim just said to lead off the show, man, it's a crazy just when you think you know, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I was looking at my binder of 87 McGuires, and I have just over 600 of them. And I was thinking to myself, this is probably a $300 to $400 binder, right? $400 is about 60 cents a piece. And it's like right now, I could definitely sell it for double my money. And some people are trying to get $10, $12 out of these, which would put that same binder in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
Sell it now.
Sell it now.
I was going to say, man.
Sell it now, buy back next week.
How many do you want to keep? I would sell if you have a number you're satisfied with, I would sell at peak. You know what I mean?
I just bought 15 more for the PC. That's the thing is, Uncle Rich was giving me a hard time. He's like, "You got to sell." I'm like, "What do you mean? I want to buy more."
Now, hey, real quick, did you see Doug's video about buying cards this week?
that was beautiful.
I text him. I'm like, "Hey, I like your slide at your you know how you kind of called out Ben there a little bit," and he just started laughing. He goes, "Yeah, he was one of the few guys I was talking to, but he goes, it just had to be said." And I'm like, "Dude, you said it perfectly, man. Like, I loved it." And then he had all those $100 bills, and he's just sitting there like in his hat, and I'm like, "I love you, brother. It was great."
I told him, I was like, "Dude, that was so friggin' funny. If you haven't seen that, you've got to. What's his Twitter handle? I know he goes by Doug Fresh on there, but I don't.
Yeah,
know if that's
Fresh Cardboard, I think.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
And it's on. Yeah, Steph, I know you're real good with links, so if you can find that link on, that'd be great. Let's get into it though, guys. The week that was, we got a lot to talk about. We got Johnny with us tonight, which is gonna be awesome. He's gonna be with us all show long. Lots of big things happen in the hobby.
Unless you kick me out. Unless you kick. Has anyone ever been kicked off mid-show?
Ben, but he can't. We let him back in. We've taken him out. We brought him back in
a couple times.
Well, I'm not gonna try to have that happen. I just
my internet just kicked me out for a second and brought me back.
I saw that. I was like, what happened?
Thanks, Xfinity. Yeah. Thanks for that high speed you're giving me here. It's only when I do the show. It's not when I'm at work in some terrible conference call. No, it's only when I want to do the show that it kicks me out. The week that was last week's release is Topps Living Week 114. Card 311. Abigail Garcia, outfielder, Milwaukee Brewers. Congratulations, bud. You're the all-time low, 1898. The lowest print run we've had.
All-time low.
What's up?
Said we were talking about the band 311, not the band all-time low.
Oh, there we go. And then card 312, Jesus Luzardo, rookie pitcher of the Oakland A's, sold just over 2,500. A couple of those are going my way. I still find that background on his weird. And then I'm glad Garcia is dead last because he didn't deserve 2 cards at this point in the print run. We also had 2020 Sage Hit Premier Draft High Series football drop, and then 2019 Panini Chronicles football drop. Heard some interesting information on Chronicles basketball today, and while this is mentioned, when they drop that, some of the guys that when this year's rookie class enough Prism cards, they're going to be in there, but they're also going to add another Prism Ja Morant and Zion, obviously, into that. It's going to be a photo variation, so Chronicles is going to be, just back up the brinks. Hot off the press is this week's new releases. Topps Living week 115. Card 313, Shane Bieber, not Justin, pitcher of the Cleveland Indians, and card 314, Jordan Yamamoto, rookie pitcher of the Miami Marlins. When we have a dual pitcher week, not super, super exciting. Shane Bieber looks weird because he does not have his beard. His birthday is coming up. Look at that.
No mention of Justin on the back.
And then Jordan Yamamoto. So probably not going to be a superstar week just because pitchers don't usually sell that well. We don't have a legend. We don't have a big name rookie, even though he could be pretty decent. I like the card, though, with the hat. Marlins hat and the sunglasses looks pretty sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So
it either looks sharp, it looks like it's melting, just depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. But the details is pretty nice. So check out at Topps Living Stat for a full breakdown of where these cards fall, respectively, set by team and position for all of them. We have 2019, 2020 Panini Mosaic basketball drop today. Now, $650 a box, yes, but I've seen it range up to like a $800. So if you find it there, good luck. 10 packs per box, 15 cards per pack, 1 auto. 5 silver parallels, 15 additional parallels, and 20 inserts. It's a 30-card base set. There is a 300-card base set. There are 14 rookie picture variations available. This is the first time it's actual hobby release, a full hobby release, because mostly it's been an online or a retail release. And last year's base set was 100, so they've added a few cards this year. The hobby, there's hobby only and then also retail only parallels. There's autograph mosaics that cover veterans and retired players, and obviously rookie autographs that feature this year's rookie class. Some awesome looking cards, but this, to be honest, is supposed to be probably somewhere around $150 to $200 box in normal time. even with Zion, maybe 300, but at 650, 700, 800, it might be 1,000 next week. Unless you hit the big one, bud. Yeah, you're going to take in the shorts, I believe. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but
yeah, that's
Lord,
way above my pay grade.
Yeah, I mean, I like the product, but man, you literally got to hit some sort of Zion, and if it's a base, you got to grade that thing and pull a 10 to even think about maybe breaking even or coming out a little bit ahead. I mean, that's cards, man. It is always a little gamble, but 650, 700, and like you said, Tim, might go up even more. I like gambling, but not that much. So I'm on a, like they say on Shark Tank. I'm out.
Yeah, I swung by the LCS today real quick, and they had it at 650. While I was in there, it went up to 700, and somebody came in and said, "Oh, that's not a bad price. I'm thinking about that one." I had to go, and I was like, "Bro,
this is a great investment opportunity. I can't believe you guys are talking down against it. This is it. Right now. You should sell everything you have. Buy
Kick
this.
him.
This is $700. I mean, come on." That we all have that laying around. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, at a couple $100 it's probably not a bad buy, but at twice that price, good luck. Hop on a break if you can. I know that Doug and Dan were doing breaks today, and they had priced it so long ago that I think the first couple cases they were doing about fourth of what the cost is currently if you were to reprice it today. And they honor their prices. They took care of the customers because they said, "Hey, you bought in early with us, and so you get rewarded a good deal." Somebody bought the Lakers in a case break for $150. They pulled a LeBron, and one was already listed like at 300 or something. So
it's gorgeous product.
It is.
I mean, it's just
those right there. What's the name of that one right there? The
stained glass.
Stained glass.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it's anything similar to some of the stained glass stuff we've seen on the baseball side through Allen and Ginter, I mean, they're gorgeous. I imagine these are going to be phenomenal in hand, but again, you've got to know your price point, and you have to have some kind of an associated worth to recoup some of your money.
I think, like Tim said, I think you got to get in breaks at the right level, and if you get some deals, buy the singles you want to own.
And then we normally have retail, but retail's been out a while, and it's been swallowed up. And when you have a blaster box for 20 that you buy at the store now going for 100, good luck there. We know that one reason is that this got cut quite a bit due to COVID-19 and being able to produce it. So it was one of the first ones off, the print lines since this all went down, but still crazy pricing. I hope you guys all paid off your student loans and you have your stimulus checks, because we're into another fun one here. 2020 Bowman drops Friday. Now I had a hard time pricing boxes, so don't quote me on these because I had to go to eBay. No online retailers or anywhere had boxes listed, but a hobby box is in the neighborhood of $250. You're going to get 24 packs of box, 10 cards per pack, one auto. The jumbo boxes are in the neighborhood of 400 plus. I saw them as high as $650 a box. 12 packs per box, 32 cards a pack, 3 autographs in there. It's a 100 card base set, and then you're going to have the 150 card paper prospect set, and then the 150 prospect chrome set. Bowman Chrome prospect autos will be found in retail, but only in the form of yellow refractors, and retail only green and green shimmer refractors. The best insert is the top one, Bowman Scouts Top 100. Some first Bowman cards to look for: Jason Dominguez, as Steph showed, of the Yankees, outfielder; Bobby Witt Jr., shortstop of the Royals, who's the number 2 pick in last year's draft; Robert Paulson, shortstop of the Oakland A's; Bayron Lora, outfielder of the Texas Rangers; Anthony Vlope, shortstop of the Yankees, was a big one. Steph found some gravity feeds at a local Target, bought 10 packs, and did well. Got a paper Dominguez, got a Lux rookie, got a Jordan rookie, but he pulled 2 autos, and I think one of them's headed out to Ben.
So you got the let's see here, 7th rounder, 523rd overall from the Indians. Sorry, it flipped so I could read it. Liam Jenkins, sorry. Not Leroy. And some guy that's headed Ben's way. Second
Those
round
are
pick
paper,
last
right?
year,
Yeah.
66th overall.
Yeah.
It'll be
So-
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was just saying, can't beat it. Go ahead.
It'll just be interesting to see now what happens with the first edition price rise. Speaking of Dominguez, when you put up the first edition to the regular version, I'd be curious to see what's going to happen.
Well, the Dominguez was selling at what, $300 when it first came out, and it's dropped well below $100 now.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. Yeah, about the crazy roller coaster ride that's been on.
Now,
Guys,
I will say the borders on these look amazing.
Yeah.
You have to see them in hand. Let me pull one up.
Plus, it says 2020, so you can tell what year it is if you're sorting. But I've talked about this for the last few years, guys. I used to be like 12, 13, 14. I was a huge Bowman guy. 15. When a hobby box was like 75, 80 bucks or 90 bucks, and a jumbo was 150 to 200. Even then that was kind of like, okay, that's a big dollar box, right? Now with it being, 2-3 times as much, I'm out completely. I might buy a team set here or there. The Royals, I'm SOL because of Witt. I mean, he's just going to drive that up to $100 card on a chrome, and it's like, what happens if he ends up being Bubba Starling, right? So
I too used to buy a lot of Bowman, and so you sound like me, Tim. I've said this even on my show. I've sort of went to that middle tier of prospects, guys that aren't as hyped, but I'm a huge prospect guy. I listen to 3 or 4 different podcasts that pertain to just scouting and Baseball America and Minor League The Show and Prospect One. And so I go to that next tier and I try to get 100, 200 count lots of the guys people don't care so much about, but could be those guys that come on and surprise you. Not that, like you said, not every first round pick makes it, and you have those second, third, fourth round guys that become all-stars. And so I've kind of pivoted my strategy to doing that. And that way I'm not, if it doesn't pan out, I'm not in too deep, as they say.
Hey, real quick, is that card off center?
Yeah, I think it's a bad scan.
Yeah. Pete Alonso wasn't highly thought of when his product dropped, when his first Bowman came out. So you never know what's in there.
If you go through every Bowman year of release, there's going to be a hot rookie that wasn't that Jason Dominguez guy. So, and now they're not easy to find. I don't want to make it like, oh, that's the guy, but if you do, it pays dividends. And like you said, when a Bobby Witt card's going for $100, you're already that ceiling. I mean, not that it can't go more than that, but man, that ceiling's already pretty high.
Yeah, it's crazy. We also have 2020 Panini Select Baseball dropping $225 a box, 12 packs per box, 5 cards per pack. You're going to get 2 autographs, 2 mem cards, and 9 parallels. It's a 250 card base set, and like all Select product, it's broken down into 3 tiers. The base is 1 to 100, Premier level 101 to 200, and the highest level being Diamond, which is 201 to 250. The last release of the brand was in 2013. My question is, card number 1 is a guy named Joe Plumbo. Last year with the Rangers, he was in 7 games, went 0-3 with a 9.18 ERA.
So he already has more cards than 2020 Top Series 1.
Yeah. I'm like, who's Joe Plumbo? Like, he wasn't even a prospect. I mean, he was just like, okay, kind of an odd guy to lead off a brand when you're coming back. Pete Alonso's in the base set 1 through 100. So, like, why wasn't he card 1? To me, that's weird. Anyway, there's signature materials, there's rookie autographs, rookie jersey autographs, and X Factor material signatures. So those are the ones that have the autographed memorabilia cards. And then there's a neat insert called Launch Angles, autographs, which is highlighting only the power hitters. So,
See,
you ask any of the
mean,
old baseball players like Hank Aaron, he doesn't know what a launch angle is, which is awesome because
you kind of trash Plumbo leading off the set, but if you look at some of the previous sets that companies have released throughout the years, there are far worse lead off.
no, I know, but if we bring in something back, right, like
Troy Afanier.
Maybe he paid for that spot. It's like Alan Ginter.
Maybe he's got a friend that works at Panini. He's down there in Dallas.
I hooked you up, brother. Your number one card in the Select.
Hey, Ben, are you excited about Select? Real quick, Select basket or baseball, kind of overpriced too for non-licensed material at $225 a box. Be the guys to buy up the base and the team sets for a few bucks. The guys trying to make money. Are you going to be chasing down a team set for the A's of Select as it comes back this year?
Yeah, I think it was part of that hosh posh of Chronicles last year that had like 18 different things. I think there was 1 or 2 A's on that checklist. I like Select. I'll have it on my checklist already. I'm not going to go buck wild on all the autos though, because there's just not enough associated value. Most of the stuff right now is just so overpriced for these autos on the secondary market that, if I grab one 6 months from now, great. If not, whatever. But it should be a nice looking product for those of us out there that collect, unlicensed stuff.
I like Select. I've been a fan of it. I have a couple of the team sets from back in the 90s, and then even through I think 13, I have both the Royals and the Giants. I'm going to pick up team sets for those. I'm going to try to track down anything else. I'm not going to bust any. It's just at that price, like all of these prices on these products, it's just not the return on it. I love opening packs as much as the next guy. It's not worth it to me where I could take it in the shorts and I could go and buy stuff that I really want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the fun of opening it, but I get the fun of owning what I want and not having to hope I get what I want.
Now you're coming around. Now you're seeing the dark side over here. On this side of the fence.
No, I've always been about selling stuff I don't want to buy stuff that I do want. I mean, I've picked up like 4 or 5 breads that I've always wanted since they popped in the mid 90s. I could not afford. I have them now, all within the span of like 10 days, because my eBay sales on stuff that was just dumb has just exploded. And it's like, let's take that and go buy stuff that I actually really want. I've wanted for a long time and bring it and bring it home, and when I see this, like if this box a Select was $100 on a whim, I might go into the card store one day and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But now $225, I'm not, and that $100 would have been maybe lost when I could have bought Brett's, and then so it's just finding out where to spend your money. And right now, boxes are not the place to me, not the place to be. I don't know how you guys feel.
I think me and Tim kind of share the same slot where we're not just every paycheck going to buy a box. And for the most part, we're selling and only buying what we want. But every now and then, 1-pack, 2-pack, maybe a box. Can't kill you.
So I track all my purchases. I'm weird like that, or I pay sales tax, one or the other, a combination of both. I've and I've said this on the show, I've cut down my wax consumption in the last 3 years. So from 2017 to 80%. I mean, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck's not gonna like what I'm about to say, but generally opening wax is generally a losing proposition. Like you said, Tim, it's fun. It's definitely fun. No one will go toe to toe and argue that, me included. But like you said, when you see, especially now, like what some of these boxes are going for, it's like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I rather, like you said, just buy what I want. Sell what I don't and buy what I want, And
just kind of like in the abstract, every one of us has probably went out for an expensive dinner, a little bit more than our average every night out, right? Stretch your budget a little bit. You take the wife or the husband out to have a nice meal. And how many of us have had that experience where you overspend on this meal intentionally, but it's not satisfying? and you get back in the car and you just go, man, I could have stayed at home and made a sandwich and saved all of this money and been just as satisfied or lack thereof. But at the same time, how many of us have went out and had this dinner and go, man, I would have spent twice as much, and that meal was every bit of the money I spent. And the problem is opening up new wax is more on that first side, where unless you're buying in volume, you're just not going to be satisfied outside of getting rid of that itch. You know, I bought 10 packs of Donruss for $10, opened it up, got my $10 worth, pulled a couple of Ricky Hendersons, whatever, but I'm out $10. It's nothing, you know.
And that's what's so great about retail. Like if you have an itch to buy it, you go buy a blaster for 20. But now that market is gone because, and I don't listen. I don't care if you go and you wipe the shelf clean. Do what you want. You're able to do that if you have the money at the time to do that, and you're out there and you find it and awesome. Open it, sell it, whatever you're going to do with it. But it just there's that product isn't sitting on the shelves longer than a day or two, and you miss out and then you don't get the taste of it. It is what it is. You know, Chris Harris says in here, new wax is a sucker's bet unless you pull a decent hit or a low number parallel, you'll never get your money's worth. That's true. I've been, over the last year or so, I've started to be open cases just to flagship only, and Series 2 when it comes out sometime in June or early July, I think. I have a case of Jumbo and Hobby. For what I pre-ordered it at, I'm thinking about just selling the cases or boxes themselves and not even opening it. And I have a single box of each coming to me, so those will be mine, and I'm okay in opening those for what I paid. But the cases, I'm going to get rid of them because at this point, I'm going to make more money flipping it as boxes or as a case than I am having all the fun and opening all the packs and putting all the work into it. So, it sucks, but that's where the reality is at this point. So, and that's because flagship was always and that's upsetting me. I think the most is flagship has always been affordable and always been there for everybody. And
available.
The price point was good. A hobby box was $70, which isn't a killer price, but when the hobby box is $100 to $150, when it's twice the that's just not.
You can buy the tape for $30, pick up a relic or two for $5, $10, $20 each. Hey, what's the point?
It hurts.
It's not fun when. We've talked about this many times where, we go to Brent Williams, who I buy my team sets. Tim, I think you buy yours there. And, before he was saying $30, $35, and now he's saying 75 this year. It was 100. It's like, and I do buy multiple team sets, mind you. It's not just the base team set, but it's the point where when I send him a text message, what's all of my stuff going to cost? I'm literally... When he texts me back, I'm like, dear Lord, what is this going to cost me?
Do I dare look at the phone?
Yeah, it's went up.
Do I need to go to my checkbook and look at my register and see if...
We almost sound like four married guys trying to make sound business decisions. That's what like.
There was a funny picture on Facebook today. Somebody in one of the card groups posted a picture of Brink's truck outside Walmart. He goes, oh, look, my distributor's dropping off the Mosaic. And, it's so poignant. It's just like, this stuff is literally gold right now, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But it is because people have time, they have money, they're bored. You have a lot of new money coming in here. People have stimulus checks.
Oh, don't say that word.
and there's no new product coming out. That's why people are going back. You have these documentaries. It's literally like this perfect storm of everything hit us all at once. And right now, junk wax era, people are cashing out in droves. I told you my 1988 investment was going to pay off. It's only a matter of time before Kevin Moss doubles his money, and he's up to 20 cents a card now.
So make sure you're checking out Ryan Cracknell's articles on Beckett.com/news for more details on all these new releases and get to see all the pictures and variations. What's brewing next week's releases? 2020 or 1920 Panini Noir basketball, $10,000 a box probably. 1920 Upper Deck SP Authentic Hockey, probably the right price. Let's be honest. Hockey's not really been affected. 2020 Topps Tier 1 baseball drops, and 2020 Panini Contenders draft picks, Collegiate football drops. God, that's a mouthful. They should add some more words in there. Like Prism, Mosaic, Collegiate football, Donruss release.
Remaster edition.
Yeah, we'll hop in Infield chat or Hobby Talk. Hobby Hotline this Saturday live on YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. John Newman, Steph Loeffler, and me, the three of us. It's
We're
either
just
three
gonna stay
amigos or the three
inside
stooges.
We're just going to stay inside this box till Saturday morning.
Yeah, so it's either three amigos, the three stooges, or, combination of the both.
Dr. Beckett, little programming note. Dr. Beckett will pop in and join the show.
Yes.
Cool.
We all have to wear a black tie. And, if we were the Stooges, though, Ben would definitely be Mo, right?
Of course, because Mo is the most famous.
Yeah.
I would be probably like Shemp or whatever the fourth one was.
I'll take Beckett can't be choosers. I'll take whatever's left.
So, guys, did you know that Project 2020, as we say goodnight to Bean, because we know that he can't hear Project 2020, has relics? Project 2020 has relics. At
They
Fun
have DNA too.
Goods and at Cards for Good CA.
I saw this.
And relics. The best one is Topps Project 2020 card 40, Tony Gwynn, pubic hair edition, 1 of 1. I'm not quite sure it's a pubic hair in the card, as much it is maybe like a beard hair, but it is short and curly. So one is like, okay, not a big deal, right? But then Cards for America has a wholly different card, and there's a one in his on the backside.
Pulling it up here.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't believe that. Now this one is a Sandy Koufax card 40. So the first one was 40. This is 49, and
have we matched to see if they're the same person?
No, two different
DNA test. We got a DNA test for Project 2020.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what's going on there.
If you're gonna have somebody encasing these,
make sure they're not shedding.
You don't want me. You don't want Johnny over there, right? You don't want Tim in this new look.
Oh, I need a beard net if I work at Topps.
Yeah, it's like, listen, I'm not here to be encasing these any more than I should be serving mashed potatoes at the local high school at lunchtime, right? It's just
that and the laws.
Well,
because you have to be like this tall to serve.
You do. Because I'm not serving it above my head. Oh, you have to be 4'8" in order.
You could be at the elementary school.
So you're saying Angela can still serve it?
She could. I would have to stand on a case of phone books. But yeah, come on. This I understand they're doing these in thousands, and I am pretty sure we're going to talk about the other topic with Project 2020 here in a little bit. But come on, that's bad.
Topps has announced that this is not Tony Gwynn's pubic hair. So if you think you're getting a Tony Gwynn pubic hair, it's not his. So sorry to disappoint anyone out there hoping to get.
It's funny. These cards are encased in a one touch, but moving forward, that might not be the case. We saw some Mike Trouts. They were in snap cases, and Topps has changed the verbiage, saying thick trading cards encased in a protective plastic case due to shortage of one touches. Which upsets me.
Someone else had one too.
Oh, look at that. A Griffey with an eyelash. Maybe. But, that upsets me because of continuality and, displaying these cards because they are art.
I think the word you're looking there for was continuity.
Continuity. Yes. And so maybe I'm going to have to peel some stickers and put them on my own one touches. But that's just to me is...
The Mariano Rivera Booger card has not been found just yet, but stay tuned.
Did you see the video of him making his own cardboard glove?
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was showing how when he was a kid.
When he was in the Dominican?
what they would do. Yeah, he was in his
Yeah,
house.
I did see that. I thought you something more recent.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. And so he was showing how they would cut the piece of cardboard and put his hand in. He had a baseball and he made a glove, and I was like, the hell, man, no wonder those guys are slick fielders.
Yeah.
Like you're playing down the Dominican, with those. But no, I mean, we kind of poo-pooed Project 2020, and I think a lot of everyday, and I think Mike Summer even said this, a lot of everyday collectors did. They poo-pooed it. They are like, overpriced. I think we're seeing now, understanding who the artists are. We had Blake on and seeing what's coming out. Amazing artwork. I mean, I have the Bretts, and that's what I'm collecting. But Blake was on last week and hinted that, hey, I'm gonna have this 87 McGuire coming out probably next Wednesday, but I made it look like the 85. And we all know what that does, how that tickles Ben's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was tremendous. Now, if you watched his live stream last night when he revealed the card, he talked about he had to make a last-minute change, and he had to change the number. McGuire's wearing 25 in the photo in the 87 card. He's wearing 25 in the Project 2020. Rumor has it he was wearing 41, which was his Olympic number.
Mm-hmm.
And Panini has the rights to the U.S. Team USA stuff now, not Topps. And so that's why he might have changed it. I thought when he talked about it, he might have put 70 on the back for all the home runs he hit in 98. But,
would have been a nice touch.
I think 25 should have been the number in the first place, just to mirror the cards, a little bit better together. And I think it's gorgeous. I bought it today. The Jeter that came out, I bought the package. That Jeter came out. It's awesome. We talked pre-show. We're seeing now, a lot of people are buying and flipping, and we're seeing higher print runs, so that's probably going to come down. But, I mean, this reminds me a lot of Topps Living.
Yeah, you're going to see, and now I'm going to have probably 10 of these guys on Sports Card Nation. I've actually got 3 interviews recorded. And I wind up talking to these guys, probably like you guys would when they come on your show, off the air quite a bit. You're going to see this artwork really tighten it up. These guys are going to hit their stride. And so I think you're starting to see that Jeter, like you mentioned, Tim, the McGuire, these things are really getting really good. And so like you just mentioned, I think the print runs are going to go up because I'm going to buy some of them. I'm not a McGuire guy, but these McGuires are so nice. I'm going to buy a couple where I normally maybe wouldn't have. And I think other people are going to do the same thing. So that I think the print runs are going to go up. The artwork is getting tightened up. These guys are they're watching what each other's doing. I know they've told me that. And so there's sort of a friendly competition.
They're getting competitive
between them. Yeah. And so they're really, not that they weren't taking it seriously before. I don't want to make it sound like that, but they're really digging their heels in now and saying, all right, what do I want to go with this? And you're even seeing some of the artists in the series that people were sort of criticizing early on, actually doing different things now with their work. So
yeah,
stuff's going to get tightened up. Print runs are going to go higher, and even for me, like you said, and I'm not a liar, so I was one of those guys that, like you talked about, that poo-pooed this initially. And now I'm fully on board. I just wrote an article for Sports Collectors Daily about it. This thing is really, some of it's probably, truth be told, like I wrote, it came at, Topps didn't plan it like this, but the fact that this really came about during the pandemic when there's less releases, no sports on TV, and people gravitated towards it. And it's really, taking hold. And I'm in.
Well, and yeah, like I quickly teased there, even Uncle Rich had me pick one of these up for him today. And me and Angela just tossed one in anyway. If we're already ordering one, why not? Support someone who's been on the show, and we can hold it over Ben. But we have one.
That's right. Yeah, and it's kind of funny to your point, John. Most of the guys are about 4 or 5 cards in now on average. So we're ending the first quarter, right? So you're going to start making that second quarter push. If we want to relate it right into sports, It'd be really exciting to see how these guys get into the third quarter, and they're going to want to all leave this all on the table going into that fourth quarter. Their final 4 or 5 are probably going to be amazing. And overall, I mean, I think once we took a step back and started to see some of the work and started to familiarize ourselves with the individual artists and what they do in their own personal artwork, we got a better understanding. And when we started realizing that, again, we're not the primary consumer, I think we could all step back and take a look at it and really appreciate it for what it is. Even if you're not financially vested in this, so you're not buying the cards, you can at least look at it and go, you know what? That's a good looking card, and I can appreciate that. I don't collect hockey cards, but I think Upper Deck does some of the best cards in the industry across the board, even though I don't own any of their modern day, obviously I own a lot of Upper Deck from the Junk Wax era. But as a card collector, I can look back and just go, man, these hockey cards are ridiculously awesome in a lot of cases. And I think that's how you can at least look at the Project 2020 as an abstract expression.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. The only artist I'm really not a fan of is the Old Man Allen ones.
Do you know he's from Sacramento?
Is he?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go find him and we'll talk.
But that's the beauty is, I haven't seen a McGuire or a Henderson, since those are the ones I'm personally buying and collecting, that I've not liked yet. Although there's a couple of different artists, reimaginations that I'm not looking forward to. But that doesn't mean I won't love it when they choose my guy. I just don't like him when they did it Ted Williams, and I look at it and go, again, $5 to $8 each. I'd be buying a lot more of these, including today's Derek Jeter, which was awesome. Don C made the appearance last week with the gold Frank Thomas. There are a lot that I think I would add at a different price point. But that's the beauty of cards. You can't collect it all. But that doesn't mean you can't appreciate anything and everything that you like.
I understand. Old Man Al, to be honest, what his cards look like to me, are more things that we could do or put together versus what some of the other guys are doing. And I understand that everybody's art's a little bit different. It's just probably the one that I've not been the most excited to see. So, I mean...
Yeah. They remind me of the 53 Bowman colors cards. If you're old like me, you remember them. You're probably, if you look them up, look the 53 Bowman colors. It has a similar look to me to those.
Yeah. The beauty of art is I am not a fan of Van Gogh at all, but he's one of the most world-renowned artists. And his stuff, his originals are going to sell for millions in their museum pieces. It's not for me, right? All things being equal, if it was something that we could all afford, not an artist that I would personally hang up on the wall. But, we look at it like music too, right? Not every music is designed for everybody's ears. It's just not. You might be able to listen to it and say that individual is extremely talented. They've got a wonderful set of vocal cords, but I'm not going to go seek out that music and movies and sports and, it's just, it's all subjective and there's no right or wrong answer. Right now with the Last Dance having ended, everybody's talking about Jordan versus LeBron. Who's the greatest of all time? You know what? Neither. You know why? Because
Kareem
Jordan was great. And LeBron is great, and all these other guys, whether it's Magic and Larry and Duncan and Kareem and Chamberlain, and they were all great. Let's just appreciate them for what they are, and we don't have to have a 1 and a 2 and a 3. You know who does is ESPN, because they're 24 hours a day and they pay these knuckleheads. We're not paid. We can just appreciate it as fans and go, you know what? The best basketball player of all time to me is Tim Duncan, because I am a Spurs fan, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So, talking about some art cards. So our buddy Jeff, Gypsy Oak, had his table, his kitchen table series 1, and I ordered a set. He told me it got a little crazy. He got a lot more requests than he thought for this. But have you seen the prices for his stuff? So his Griffey out of 150, these are sold prices. $35. Cal Ripken, $35. The complete set he sold for $22. Sold for $375 plus $10 to ship it. $500 for the complete the black and white out of 25. You know, I can't, like, mine somehow got rerouted back to him, so he has it, and he resent it to me, so I haven't had it in hand yet. I love his stuff. Brett's in series 1. There's rumors of a series 2 to finish it out. But you know, I was sending him messages. We were DMing back and forth, and I go, dude, how crazy is this? He goes, right? He was like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, well, maybe you left some money on the table. And he started laughing. He's like, you know, that's not what he's doing it for. So, you know, I it's just nuts to me. And I love his stuff. And, you know, Ben and I, you know, we have personal art we've commissioned from him, and it's fabulous. And I'm going to do some more. But real quick, I did miss a question about once baseball returns. You guys, what do you think happens of the 2020 once baseball comes back?
They're still going to sell, and they'll probably end up bringing back the set next year in some form, shape, manner, or being. And I know that, you know, we're speculating that a lot of sales just in the hobby in general are because everyone's home and has nothing to open. But I don't see this falling the way of like a Topps now, where unless it's a Yankee or unless it's a major player, you're selling 67 cards. We're still going to have thousands sold.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's going to be a huge drop off. What I'm fearful is something that Steph just said. I don't want to say fearful. I'm not losing sleep over it, but what I'm hoping we don't see is what Steph said. I don't want to see a Topps Project 2021. I want to see a Topps Project 2025. I don't want this to be an every year thing, because it's going to water down and kind of diminish what we're seeing now. I kind of want to see this like an Olympic type thing. Every 4 to 5 years, bring on 20 new artists, maybe some different cards, and do it then. But I don't want to see this every year.
But that's what they do best.
Point of view.
That's what they do best. They find something good and they beat it into the ground.
You're right. It's their MO. I think Steph's right, and I hope he's wrong. But I think Steph's
and they're going to do the same thing with the first Bowman first edition. They saw how well that did. And they're going to do that again next year, and they're going to keep doing it.
First edition, Bowman Draft, first edition.
Yeah, and everything's going to be in Sapphire. I mean, they saw what Top Sapphire did, you know, and then they brought out Bowman Draft Sapphire, and they're just going to keep beating it in and beating it in, and it's just going to start to lose its value long term.
They love to bastardize their own product.
Yeah, Topps needs to look at the situation. We're in, you know, it's pandemic times next year, and I'm hoping we're not still in any sort of pandemic time. The landscape's going to change. What you could do this year doesn't necessarily equal the same success at the same time next year. You got to be smart. You know, you got to think about that. I mean, there's some smart people at Topps, I got to believe. Like, get in a room and say, listen, we caught lightning in the bottle last year with Topps Project 2020. It's a huge success, a big hit. I know we all kind of want to do this again this year. Let's wait a few years and then roll it back out. We got plenty of other products that are every year products. Let's not, you know, ruin this. Yeah, beat a dead horse. That's the perfect graphic.
You know, even if you did something like, you know, we wait every 4 years for the Summer Olympics and every 4 years for the Winter Olympics, but because they're offset one another, right? It's every 2 years we get the Olympics, right? Mm-hmm. So what if you just skipped a year and said, hey, we're going to take this off on 2021, but in 2022 we're going to roll it out again, and it gives us something to look forward to. We're taking a year off, but in 2024 we know year 3 is coming out again, and we're going to be really excited to see what artists are they bringing artists back. Are they going to go with a brand new group of how many ever they choose. But that's just not their MO. They like us. John and I were kind of talking over one another. They bastardize everything that they do because it's a cash cow.
Yep.
You know.
Well, and speaking of which, they brought Topps Total out back last year, and I think they did, it was decent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they brought it back out this year, and I don't think that the same fanfare as they had previously, which is helpful because that means again then the lower the print numbers, the better that is long term. But did you guys see this Airs overload? So Ryan Cracknell had an article on this. Well, we're gonna say Gary Sanchez card because that's what it says. I have to have Steph pull it up. You guys, if you guys are listening to the podcast, you need to check this out because it's crazy. So here's the card. It says Gary Sanchez, rookie, LA Dodgers, and so it's not. First of all, Gary Sanchez is not a Dodger, nor is he a rookie, and nor is he the guy in the photograph, or has he ever played with the team? It's a player of the Pittsburgh Pirates, so it's not him. And it's actually the parallels are just fine. So the parallels like Gary Sanchez Yankees and have him in his catcher's gear. Well, another version of this card came out, and it says Francisco Cervelli with the same guy pictured, rookie card logo, and the Dodgers logo. Well, Cervelli is neither a rookie or a Dodger. He's not on the Pirates anymore, and but his parallels are just fine. It shows him batting with the Miami Marlins. The player in the photo is actually goes back to Wave 1, and it's actually Cervelli's former teammate Joe Musgrove of the Pirates. And one of our buddies once a Cub on Twitter is the one that kind of broke the news on it all and shared it. But it's what? Like.
Well, so and even then, on top of it, he kind of teased Topps in that currently they've been doing kind of like a spot the difference type game going on, and he threw all three of them together and said, "Hey, spot the difference." I'm trying to pull that up here.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, how do you mess up that bad?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
That was done on a Friday. Like somebody was photoshopping that on a
Looks
Friday.
good. Let's head to the bar across the street. Everyone, close the lights. Let's get out of here.
Have you seen what these are selling for on the secondary? Matt shot me, Topps Living Stag shoots me a DM. He's like, dude, these are selling for at the time like $180. At auction. I'm just like, you better list yours right now if you have one, because that's just awesome. I mean, these are fun. I love this. Whether they did it on purpose or not, who cares? These are cool.
Yeah,
also, they're let me preface it by saying this: these are cool because it has nothing to do with the Oakland A's, and I don't have to financially buy one.
Well, at least it's not. Yeah, at least it's not Matt. It's not Matt Chapman being replaced by one of his teammates on Diamond Kings.
Trevor Plouffe and Drew Butera.
2 years in a row. I hate that.
Yeah, so that was crazy. We saw one of the first 2020 Alan Ginter celebs that will have autographs and products. This tweet came out last year. I emptied my life savings and drove 20,000 miles across across flag of the United States. Across the United States, learning about Americans and life on the road. My refuge was the ballpark, a communal space where differences were put aside and joyful experiences shared. I also grew a huge mustache, which is now on a baseball card. So the baseball Brit is going to have
his cards that are in the Project 2020 hairs.
Yes. He's going to have autographs in Allen and Ginter, and he said that they told him to have a unique autograph. So he actually changed his autograph for just this thing. And I think it says B Brit.
B Brit, yep.
On there, which he's like, I'm only going to use this autograph for this release, which I think is very cool, very unique. I think I followed his story. I mean, he was all over the place. It's pretty awesome that a normal guy does something on his own, and he got some pub for it, and then he gets an Allen and Ginter card, and that's what Allen and Ginter is for, and that's why I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
At full disclosure, they did not reach out to the About the Cards guys or probably the Sports Card Nation guy. The four of us were not contacted to be a part of this set, unfortunately.
Huge oversight.
How do you know?
Unless you're holding DMs back, brother.
Tim,
I had a non-disclosure agreement I've signed.
After last year's Q&A,
He's David Lee Roth. He's breaking up Van Halen and going.
Yeah, after the Q&A last year when I stole a Pete Alonso, I don't think I'm going to be.
For me, they're like, well, you have to be blocked by less than 100 people on Twitter, and
I have a 7 5/8 head size, so they're like it won't fit on the cards. So
hey, me too.
out.
Yeah,
there you go.
John, that picture you sent. John sends a picture earlier about what he looks like on Twitter promoting this show tonight, and I looked at it for a minute. And I'm like, if the four of us were thrown into an incubator and they created a child based on our facial features, this picture. No offense to the guy.
I guess he's a real guy because Rich Klein commented his name. I didn't know who he was. I just stole the picture.
Of course, Uncle Rich knows who it was. It literally looks like a face morph of. If you're familiar with The Office, when they draw a picture of the salesman to steal commissions,
Lloyd Grossman.
Yeah, and it's a combination of Stanley and Phyllis and Dwight and Jim.
But whose hair is that? Steph's hair, maybe?
No, we're wearing a wig to disguise our. I mean, is that not the four of us? Come on.
I feel bad, man. That's a picture you just chuckle at, man.
The sad thing is that's a real, hey.
I feel bad.
By the way, guys, if you haven't purchased your Mark McGuire Project 2020, I might do so.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a fan or you're not sure that's the one you should buy. Just
also,
do if you ever wanted to take a piece of advice I give, that might be the one I would take right now. So I'm just going to put it out there.
And our good buddy Twins Jake, if you're comfortable buying, not from Topps, if you want to buy on the secondary, Twins Jake's got a really good deal where if you stack 3 or more, you can buy them for as little as $16 shipped. Twins Jake is a great guy. He's all in on 2020 as well as some of the other on-demand products.
Yeah, a lot of the on-demand stuff he's hoarding.
Oh, I see what
you can get a lot of good stuff. Turn back the clock. I know he's doing quite a few. But my dad and I have been buying the last 3 through him because he's giving us $16 a pop. So
he does
check him out on Twitter.
So we talked earlier about Bowman first edition. Real quick, I want to talk about the autos again. So, Steph, you can share the picture. This cannot be acceptable. I tweeted this out like 2 or 3 days in a row, asking Topps, and they've not said boo shit who to anybody about what the hell is going on. And I'm frustrated. I didn't buy any of this, and I'm not going to buy like any of the autographs. But legitimately, a majority of the autographs we've seen, and when I say we, I mean collectors, have been smeared, just destroyed. And my question is, so a couple of things have popped up. Either they inserted, we've talked about this before, I'm going to keep bringing this up. Either they've inserted the autos that fit, like the rejected autographs from regular Bowman, or what happened is when they stamped them with the first edition after they were autographed, they were smeared in that process.
Or maybe they just rushed it because the 2 that I got are perfect.
Yeah, and my thing is,
I think it's the first scenario, Tim. I think these are rejects, and they're like, you know what? Let's just throw them into Bowman first, and people just be happy to get an autograph right now, And I'm going with that one.
I'm so frustrated. It can't be, people are just going to take it and accept it because it is what it is. But if I spent the money to that some of these people are spending and I got an autograph and this is what it looked like, I would be so angry. It's ridiculous at this time of age when like they have quality control and like what is going on to let that be an acceptable practice. And it's not like a one-off here and there, guys. It's a majority of the autographs. I think somebody shared one Jason Dominguez that wasn't messed up, that was in there, and it was like $1 bazillion. So,
the bad QC week at Topps apparently.
And then so we talk about the Dominguez. This came as a tweet. And by the way, is that just not the worst Photoshop picture you've ever seen?
He looks like the Gazoo from the Flintstones.
Right? It looks like it's worse almost than the Greg Mitten. What was that? 78 tops with the Giants, where he's all messed up. So this comes from at Matt Saltzman on May 19th. The Jason Dominguez paper it issued now dropped below 100. How low will it get? The highest price he saw was on May 4th for $300. 15 days later, it's below $100. Did he slump off field?
So what you're saying is I need to get my non-first edition out the door yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, $300 was a dumb price because it's a paper card.
But it's a first edition paper card.
But nobody collects the Bowman paper. 2
guys did.
Well, you know what I mean. There's people that collect it. Don't get me wrong. When
it's more so now than ever before, though. It's kind of making, I don't want to say a comeback, but it's a little more purchased than traditionally.
No, I collect the paper Bowman base set, but I also collect the chrome. But people want the chrome cards or want the autograph cards. The paper's an afterthought. If you've ever watched a break, they just go paper. Okay, all right, here we go. Here's the chrome, the color, and the autos. To me, it's nuts. I hope to God that these guys that sold these at 300 don't get chargebacks for people saying, "Oh, yeah, the card. I can get the card for 95. I can go buy 3 of them now, and have $15 to go to get a sandwich or 2."
I don't think if you're paying $300 plus $4 shipping on this card, I don't think you're collecting this. People collect base sets, paper sets. It's cool, but I don't think $300 is I'm collecting this price point. Maybe that's just me.
So you're saying that they're investing in that?
That's a tough word to use. I would invest in Mosaic.
Chris, I think you're the only person that collects sets anymore. Well, you and
I collect sets. I'm a big set guy. No, and Chris, I say that to help all the noobs. I get it. I don't like the word Bowman paper either, but there's 2 different versions of Bowman Chrome, and it gets there. Speaking of which, so David Adams and Brett and Becca had some news here this week regarding Bowman. So David Adams sent out this note this week saying, it'll pull up here for me. Please be advised that notifications were sent out from Topps this morning indicating that 2020 Bowman shipments would be delayed. Pre-order fulfillment delays are expected to occur, and it's very unlikely that this product will be shipped, so customers will receive their orders in time for the previously stated live release date of May 22nd. We understand that Bowman is one of the most anticipated products of the year, and this announcement is disappointing. It has been indicated to us that Topps is doing all they can to get Bowman out as quickly and efficiently as possible. Blowout cards. I'm sorry, this came from Blowout. I'm sorry. Blowout will do our best to keep everyone informed as it's made available. Sincerely, Blowout card. Sorry, I said it was DA. I apologize. Brent and Becca came out to say 2020 Bowman update. For me, for the first time I was told my order was cut. Then told my price percent went up. Today was told by Topps that only 25% of Bowman was ready, so they were shipped out only what's ready at this time, and that many, including me, won't be getting it on release. I know Dan and Doug today on Mojo said that they have what they're covered for their breaks this week, and I think through the weekend maybe to do a few extra. But after that, they're still delayed. They didn't get cut, but their distributors did not get everything that was expected.
Well, and I think the issue is that, in part anyway, is that Panini and Topps use different printers. Now, they're only a few tens of miles away. However, one's in Dallas County and one's in not Plano County. What's the county just north of that? And each county has their own rules as far as when people can work and when people have to stay at home with everything going on right now. And unfortunately, Topps' company of choice is had to wait later.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this last week, the slots and the printing and the days, and I told like yesterday that I had some information that Bowman lost like a full day of printing, and I'm not sure if they got added back in so they can continue to make their product, but that
Cullen County,
yeah, that was the case, and so it is what it is, and the fact is, if you're not going to ship it all out, that's fine, and you ship it all out at once. It's just going to delay the product, but again, it's like when you get a birthday, your birthday's one day, but your aunt and uncle live in a different state. Mm-hmm. And then like maybe your parents, like, you had to delay your birthday because of the weather. So then your birthday gets delayed again with your friends. So you get birthday cards or presents every couple of days. It just spreads it out a lot farther. So you're more able to enjoy it more. And I feel like we have these things where it's like Bowman comes out on Wednesday, right? And by next Tuesday, we've forgotten about it. We're on to the next thing. And we're just always on to the next thing within 5-6 days of the cycle. It's like, can we take a time out? We anticipated, we waited for this for so long. Can't we take a moment and enjoy it? I think that is what's missing. It's always this next thing. And I think a lot of people in this hobby are in that spot where it's like, what's the newest next thing? I'm onto it. This is old news. I don't care. And it's like, you're missing the point.
You're missing the enjoyment and joy of
what this is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, right?
It to me, and that's what's sad to me, And I think Phil Hughes said, he understands the price points and the things like that. It's pricing people out, but he's like, I'd much rather be in a hobby that's healthy and has new blood and people want to be involved and want to buy in and that kind of stuff. And I'm all for that. We're in this spot, but I think long term, the people that are in this before and the people that will be here after, we're going to make it through. We just have to wade through all the other people that have hopped in at this point and see where it is. And, it's nice to have a boom because it's allowing us to, maybe sell some things we were sitting on, and go buy stuff that we really want and focus there. So speaking of buying and selling cards, there's a little LCS etiquette. So there was a tweet that came out this week from, and I didn't write down the name, dang it, Era Collectibles. And the tweet said, found a Peyton Manning raw, thanks Steph, raw Topps Chrome rookie for $40 at my LCS. Told the owner I'd take it, but wanted to keep looking, and I went to pay for the card. He said it wasn't up for sale anymore because it's worth way more. And it is. Bad etiquette on his part or fair? And he followed up saying, I had a feeling this would be a divisive topic to be clear. I didn't go there with the intent to pull one over on the shop owner, just went to browse cool cards too. I was fine with him not selling the card for $40. What bothers me is he's saying it wasn't for sale at all, and then putting other cards I was looking pulling other cards I was looking at, saying those weren't for sale either. I'd prefer he opened the door to negotiate a new price. 3 wasn't going to flip the card. I would have been for PC. Was stating it could sell for 200. He was stating it could sell for 200.
So can I answer this?
Go hop in, John.
I had a card store for 4 years, brick and mortar. So this is right up my alley, so to speak. And I'm reading this. I didn't see this before. I'm seeing it now. Here's the thing. If you put a card in a box, whether it be a monster box, a shoe box, if that card's in the showcase and it's priced and someone finds it or says, I'm taking that, you got to sell it. You have to sell it. That's bad business to me, to not honor that. Now, if you close the store, 7 o'clock, you close the store, you lock the store, you're inside it, and you go look through the boxes and find stuff and pull it out, reprice it, that's different. But if you're open for business and someone says, hey, I'm purchasing this, it's, I do shows still. There's stuff in my boxes that I missed because the guy gets hot and I priced it, 6 months ago when it wasn't hot. And it's priced at $3 and now the card's $20-$30. Good find for them. It is what it is. That's, bad job by me not, on the Thursday or Friday before that show, just kind of flipping through the box and rechecking stuff. So,
yeah,
I'm with the buyer here. I'm a card store guy, but if it's priced and someone picks it out, you got to honor that.
Well, and I agree, and I have a similar story. So Ben was at this card show with me. We were setting up the tables, and I was done, so I started walking around the other vendors, and there were other buyers in there, but it was still pre-hours. But everybody knows locally, like, hey, by 8 o'clock you can come in and start buying and wheeling and dealing. I went by another dealer that's always set up. That's one of the guys that runs the show, that helps set everything up and that kind of thing. And he had a Vlad Guerrero update gold. And so it was, numbered out of $299, and it was priced for $10. And it was with one of the price guns. So sometimes, those don't print out all the way. And I said, hey, is this $10 or is this $100? And he said, no, it's $10. And I go, you're sure it's $10? He goes, yeah, $10. And so I said, okay, well, here's $10. Thank you. And I bought the card, and I told people about that. And other people said, well, no, you should have said it was worth more than that. And, I gave him multiple opportunities to change to look it up. And I even said, does this mean $100, not 10? And he's like, no. And I'm not going to sell the card. I put the card away. It's with all the other Vlad rookies I have. I agree. If you don't have things, if you're not looking for cards you might have in your showcase and updating your prices, that's bad on you. So that was strike one. Strike two is where you don't try to renegotiate, saying, okay, I had it at 40. It's going for the neighborhood of 200. Let's meet in the middle and say like 120, right? Even giving him an option to buy the card, but not letting him buy the card, and then you find other deals and he's not letting you buy those cards at all. That is just that's awful.
That to me speaks volumes. I don't know this store owner, but I know this store owner. That speaks volumes of what kind of business acumen.
This guy's the way in the boxes.
Right.
Yeah. Quite a few years ago, I think it was 2016, maybe it was. I stopped at a local card show called H&R Cards. Which is the home of the Otani Superfractor. And guy had a box of Heritage, and I said, hey, can I buy a couple packs? He goes, no, this is my personal box. And I'm like, all right, hey, whatever. And we're talking a little bit more, and I was like, yeah, I'm just looking to buy a couple packs. And so I'm getting ready to leave, and he's like, all right, you can buy a couple packs. So I buy a couple packs out of here. Well, it happened to be the hot box with the purple refractors. And I open up a couple, and at this point, he was willing to sell me the entire box before he realized it was a hot box. And then he pulls it back. And I'm like, let me buy a couple more. I'll split the box with you. And he's like, no, it's not for sale anymore. I'm like, but a second ago, it was. And so I've never been back in that store. I mean, I couldn't imagine going into a store like, we went into Toys R Us years ago to buy a swing, and it was in the wrong spot. And Toys R Us had to honor it, right? I mean, businesses sometimes make mistakes. You do the right thing. The first egregious thing is mismarked, and he pulled it back and said, hey, it's not for sale at that price. But even more so, not to at least say, hey, let's split the difference. If it's a $40 card listed and it's a really $100 card and I had it mismarked, would you take would you buy it for 70? Let the guy come back and say, nah, I'm okay. Yeah. Okay, well, at that point, you've at least tried to make up for it. But at the same time,
I think you did the right thing where you said, I'll listen, let me buy half the packs and you will split it. You know what I mean? That's what I would have did as a store owner.
I'm surprised he had the money to buy the box. Not you, the guy at the shop, because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, so man, that store is a mess. Last time I went in there, comic books everywhere, Beanie Babies everywhere.
It's in a good spot. It could do phenomenal business.
It's right off the freeway, right in the heart of downtown Midtown. I mean, it could do very well.
It's sad. Yeah,
that guy's a knucklehead. Nice enough guy to talk to.
He's super nice, but just And the thing is like I remember going in the mid '90s when the first autographs were coming out in jersey cards that before they put in the dummies. You could definitely see that. And we had the card store I went to, Coach's Corner, run by a great guy, Mel Fogelman. His name was Cowboy. He was awesome. And when he would open those and he would have you could definitely see the thick pack in there. He would mix up the packs, and then he would keep that box behind the counter, and he would ask the guy, okay, it's, you're 2 across, 2 down, and then there's, whatever. You tell me the number you want, and he'd pull those packs out for you. And he said he had a thing on there. There's jersey and autograph cards in the packs. You can tell which packs have them. And then later on, that didn't last too long, but it's one of those things that just it's bad, man. And especially now, like card stores, man, I would be bending over backwards for business and saying, "Hey, listen, I gave you this great deal, so I need to see you back in here again." All right, like let us be your home,
right,
away from home, right? Come and see us. And I've done that at RLCS. Ben, we've been to teammates before and just found some killer deals. Ronald Acuna update rookie cards for $2. Stack of them. Fat stack.
Were you in there when I was going through buying a bunch of 79s and 78 singles to complete my sets? And I had a good stack, maybe 100 cards, and they were priced at whatever, 50 cents each, 25 cents each. And the shop owner, Greg, looks at me and goes, "I'm not counting those." And I'm like, "I'm not counting them." And he's like, "How much do you think that they're worth?" And I'm like, $5. And he goes, "You give me $5." And I'm sure if you did it based off of his math, card for card, it was probably like $12, right? But he sold it for $5 because he doesn't care.
Right.
He that's not where he's making his money.
It's on the boxes and stuff. Yeah,
it's one of those things where a good business owner is looking to make a deal, right? To do what
this reminds me, the last show I did before the pandemic, I had a football box, and there was a Pat Mahomes in there that was about $50, but I priced it at $5, and a kid pulled it out, handed it to me with $5. I said, "Nice find, dude." I sold it. That's my price. Good job by him. That's what I told him. Good job by you.
They're going to be back. By the way, guys, I want to tell you, I'm rich. I have top loaders. These are going, so normally $2, $2.50 all day long, right? They're going for like $5 to $6, $7 because of the pandemic and not being able to get in. I'm not going to take advantage of people. I have some. I'm not selling right now. One, because I need them for some projects I'm working on here. But I can't believe that and what's going on. So if you need supplies, maybe just hold on. I know Cracknell put an article out today about pricing, and so just be careful and don't overpay for supplies that are going to be readily available in the next
Team semi-rigids.
And that was John Newman on About the Cards. He's been kicked off and banned for talking about semi-ridges. No, everybody has their own thing, right? When I was a kid, I loved the semi-ridges. It just, whenever I take cards in and out, if I move them, I always cut my hands really bad. And so I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
Like right here. Sharp semi.
I have very sensitive skin. I moisturize and I wear the gloves. I follow Bernie Mac from Ocean's 11. So
got some dangerous semi-rigids in your neck of the woods.
So The Athletic put out an article this week, and not everybody can afford or has a subscription to The Athletic, but I think they're offering a lot of it for free right now. And one of our boys, Nick Vosbrink, was selected to be on the panel with like Keith Olbermann, Phil Hughes, and a handful of others. The 25 most iconic sports cards of all time. And so we're just going to go through and hit a couple of them that I thought were interesting. And go and check out the article on The Athletic. And if you just hop in, 25 most iconic sports cards of all time, it should pop for you. But of course, number 20 was the Topps basketball Larry, Magic, and Julius Erving card, 1980. Roberto Clemente comes in here, the 55 Topps. We have a 1914 Cracker Jack Shoeless Joe. Willie Mays is on here, and he's got cards 18 and 14. He's got a couple. Mantle is on here. He's got 2 in the top 5. He's got number 2.
My Jackie Robinson Leaf rookie better be on that list.
It is not.
It isn't?
No.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he does have his
It's a travesty.
His 52 tops does break the top 10 at number 6. The easiest collected card on this is number 7, the 89 Griffey. Jordan just came in at 4. He couldn't beat out the others, but Mantle has 2 in the top 5, and obviously Honus was number 1. But check it out; it's a pretty good article. Did you? I'm not a big fan of this list in general, and maybe just because I think that pre-war cards and cards after the pre-war, there should be like 2 separate lists.
Yeah.
To me, because they're totally different. It's a completely different animal. Even comparing like a 52 Mantle, or I'm sorry, like a 52 Jackie Robinson to an 11 Mike Trout is a different world, but it's still closer than the pre-war stuff. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but
was the Trout on that list?
It was not.
It was not.
Yeah, the newest card on there was the 89. It was the 89 Griffey.
And then even before then, I think the next was in the 60s.
Oh well, no, it was the 80 basketball with Larry, Magic, and Irving, and then the 79 O-Pee-Chee, Wayne Gretzky.
68, 65, and it just goes back.
With a set like this, or a collection of top anything, right? We were just talking about this a little bit ago. If we were all asked to select our top 5 basketball players of all time, our age is going to be influenced. Our region is going to be there's so many variables that it makes it impossible. If I'm making my list of the top 25 cards of all time, it's going to be heavily influenced by baseball cards because that's what I personally collect. I'm not going to put any hockey cards on there, even a Gretzky, because it's not that's not influential to me. Even if you're trying to look at this objectively, right? The Jordan probably gets on my list because that's really the only one that I identify with outside of baseball. Football. Brady, a Manning, the Peyton rookie, the OJ rookie. It's like, come on. I'm gonna come up with 50 baseball cards in the top 25 before I'm gonna come up with any football cards that are gonna knock any of those baseball ones off. And it's so individualistic.
Yeah. Well, and they had a good smattering of people. I mean, Jordan, real quick, Zachary. Yeah, the Jordan Fleer came in number 4, so it was an 86 Fleer.
It's just it's how we were influenced. I mean, I was listening to Tiki and Tierney this afternoon, and they were talking about what Paul Pierce had said. He put in his top 5 basketball players of all time, and he was emphatic. LeBron is not a top 5 player of all time. He's like, it's Magic and it's Bird and it's Jordan and it's Duncan and it's, I can go 7, 8 guys before I get to LeBron. He's not a top 5 player. And the point that Tiki and Tierney had made after the fact was it's very difficult for us to assess Babe Ruth because none of us are alive. We never saw him live and so on and so forth.
I was.
Yeah, you got a little bit more gray in your beard there than I do. But again, we can't afford the Wagner. It's iconic because we all grew up with it. But these lists are it's a fun read. Don't get me wrong. If you have an opportunity to read it, sign up for the free trial if the Athletic is still offering it because they've got some really other fun stuff on there right now about memorabilia. It's an article where I think they're all given $50 to spend on eBay to buy cards or memorabilia, and then they did an article on what they all the different writers would have bought with that $50. It's just there's no right or wrong when you're doing this because how can you say Jordan's not 1? They selected him as 4. Maybe we put him at 10 or 15, or we leave him off the list altogether, right?
Yeah, no, I just it was an interesting list. Give it a read and take a look at it and see. I mean, if all those cards were in my collection, I'd be super happy. We did this too. We did iconic cards for all the teams, and we've done all this stuff in the past. So check out our previous episodes, and we might have a highlight a little bit of that next week. So I don't know how many of you guys are familiar, and today was the first day in my life I ever heard of what the hell a cook group is. At Bowman 1951 on Twitter. Now there's going to be a lot. I'm going to speak a lot here. I know that Ben spent some time into this, so I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about this. But cook groups need to be wiped out of the hobby, exposed for the garbage they are. I highly recommend everyone read the incredible information just shared on Blowout Now. It will open your eyes wide as to what is currently going on. So from the Blowout Forum thread, it occurred to me that in my discussion on Project 2020, a lot of people inside the hobby are unaware of cook groups and Discord chats. Cook groups are actually buyers clubs, yes. Sarcastic remark, but no such thing exists. Okay, got that out of the way. They have recently been popping up all over Twitter and IG, usually with one tout who gives out investment advice. They create a private Discord group. Discord is basically a group chat with forums, discussions, and they charge members $30 to $100 a month to join the group. Generally speaking, most of the people in these groups have no background in sports cards and couldn't tell you the difference between a PSA and BGS case. The crowd is younger, 11 to 20 years old, and a lot of them that do not have actual disposable income. They often are very leveraged in debt or rely on their self-made pyramid scheme to make money by flipping items. The tout will put up an investment of the day, a top pick, an ace pick, something along those lines, and everyone sees that card and buys it with reckless abandon. This sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, as the tout will post a card, the target price for the card, and a link to eBay for everyone to buy. Everyone buys up the supply on eBay at that point, and they all cheer that the cards were increased in value. A week later, when everybody gets their cards in hand, a few things can happen. One, the cards have all been bought on eBay, and they relist them at higher prices and hope someone else sees the run-up and purchases the same card at a higher price. Two, they try to resell them back into the group since everyone now is investing in that card. Three, there's enough supply on eBay that they can't keep buying every copy of a specific card. Remember, a lot of these are kids and credit card warriors, and they begin to come back down to pre-hype levels. Four, the cards stop appreciating. They can't sell them in the group to their peers, so they file chargebacks about false damage cards getting lost in the mail, etc. Five, they dump the cards for a loss if they can't quick flip the card, generally about 2 to 3 weeks. For all those who aren't familiar with this is how bubbles form and they eventually pop. The proof is below that doubters will inevitably be asked for. These are all screenshots from one of the biggest and most popular Discord groups that my friend is in. He had to wait on Twitter for a spot to open up and pay $70 a month to be in the group. If you noticed, there was a recent run-up on Josh Vita's Mariano Rivera Project 2020 card last night. There's no coincidence that the card was touted in at least 3 groups, and here's a screenshot of one of them. And so if you look, Steph has on the screen here, and they're touting to, the player average, where to buy the card, what price to pay for the card, and that kind of thing. This is nuts, and a lot of talk was this is how Prism Silvers got their hype. Back in 14, 15, 16, there were some of these guys, a group of buyers that got together and started to buy up Prism Silvers wherever they could find them. And it drove up some of the prices of things. They saw people were selling and their trends were there. And they've kind of stayed where they are as they go with players. And it's now become kind of like a real collectible card. But what's happening here is they're targeting, say, the McGuire, 87 McGuires, right? And this was all day long a $1 or $2 card, maybe at the best, right? Now people are
cheaper than that in general, yeah.
Yeah. And now people are paying 5, 6, 8 times that price for the card. Graded cards are going for crazy amounts because people have said, buy these up. These are, now that Topps 85 graded's a $300 card where it was, $20 all day long. So have you guys heard of this before today?
Yeah,
we're in this hobby. Like, we're living this daily. We have shows.
I've never heard it called cook groups, Tim. I've just heard it called, pump and dump, market manipulation. I've never heard the term cook group. That's what threw me off. But yeah, this is this is really not new. I'm not going to mention names, but there's one of these companies, I'll use companies in air quotes, that was doing this, saying, hey, this is the card of the day, invest in this. And it was a card they had already purchased a lot of, and they were using their mother's eBay account. This is a true story. I could mention their name, but it's not my show. I have on my
go
show.
ahead, mention it.
Slab Stocks. Okay, they're famous for doing this. The guy, so that it's two guys, and they put all these cards on their mother's eBay account so they wouldn't get discovered, which they did anyway. And so they had to come out with a video apology. We're sorry. They charge people for, buy this for card advice. And like CRT said, I saw in the chat, why is anyone paying someone 20, 30, or in this case, $70 for them to tell you what to buy? Like, make your own decisions. It isn't rocket science here. This is crazy.
Well, so before Ben goes off, because we all know what's coming, and it's kind of the highlight and the finale of the show, as this is one of our last topics. But so a quick hit here, and maybe the origin of the phrase. It seems like there's one cook who's professing, take this at this price, and there's a whole bunch of idiots in the pot and pan getting burned alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, and it kind of burns me, because 2018 Topps Chrome Update, love the product, buy it when I can find it, if I can find it. This is the one card that I'm missing between 18 and 19. For the Master Set, I have all of the inserts, I have all of the base, I am missing this single card. And to know that I've been bidding up against a bunch of idiots, picking it up, and then trying to quick flip it to get their money back, yeah, well, now it's understandable why I haven't been able to find it for a decent price.
And you will eventually. Just got to wait out the wave. That's all, even if it takes 2 or 3 years, right?
This reminds me of a Goof Troop. Remember the Goof Troop in the 90s, the cartoon? Yeah. There was a guy one of the guys in the city where Goofy lived that was buying up a Joe Blow common card that was 10 cents all day, and he was buying them for everybody in the town, but he's paying $1 for the card. Yep. Right? He bought all the cards in town. He piled them up and he lit them on fire, and he only kept one. And all the others were gone. And so he had the only one in existence. This reminds me a lot of that. Ben, I'm going to let you have the floor. It just came in my mind. I did not want to forget mentioning the Goof Troop here tonight on the show. But
I'll try to keep it quick. You referenced the 87 Maguire, which I buy at an average of 60 cents to 75 cents. I've bought 600 of them. So I'm pretty familiar with this particular market. And now they're selling for dollars, multiple dollars. Why would I buy more at that price? Right? $1.25, $1.50, I could see that. But not $5, not $10. And again, I got called out because people missed the narrative I was trying to say on Saturday night when I said that the Maguire 85 is not a $300 card, even graded at a high grade. It's just not. Why? Because we have multiple years of a very static and stagnant market. And then all of a sudden, overnight, just because of a documentary, it's not just because of a documentary. People are out there, as John said, manipulating the market. That's exactly what it is. I'm sitting at the top of the pyramid, and I'm telling John, hey, give me $50. I've got some insight. John gives me $50, and I say, listen, buy 85 Maguires. You're not gonna be sorry. Buy them. And then John starts making a little bit of money because other people are starting to see this spike. And then we go over to Tim and Steph, and we're like, hey, listen, 85 Maguires. But first off, you got to give me your $50. And before you know it, you have tens or dozens or hundreds of people. If the guy at the top is not really, all he's doing is spitting out a name, right? Pyramid he's probably scheme. Not even really either. He's not investing his money into this flipping and this pump and dump, or he has already gobbled up hundreds of these at a lower price, right? I'll use myself as an example. I've got 600 of these suckers. If I'm at the top of the pyramid, now would be a great time for me to get everybody on the 87 Maguire bandwagon, get this to go from a 50-cent card to a $10 card, and a $400 binder becomes a $7,000 binder overnight. if that's not blatant market manipulation, the reason it's not is because this industry is not regulated. There's no SEC over there. If you took this to the stock market, each and every one of those guys, if they were caught, are going to prison until they start ratting on each other and making deals with the DA. But yeah, this is highly illegal in regulated markets. But the trading card isn't. It's a wild, wild west. And now we're starting to see proof of it, which makes sense.
Yeah. Here's something I said on my show. If you're paying someone, I don't care if you're paying someone $2 for card advice, you probably shouldn't be buying cards. If you're paying anyone any dollar amount for them to tell you what to buy, keep your money in your bank account, keep your money in your wallet. You're not ready to make any purchases.
By the way, PayPal at Big Chef 79. I will, if you pay me $5 a month, I will. No, in Discord groups, the real McCoys they started. Breaks just said, hey, we just started to one. Discord groups could really be a good thing, like Steph said.
Sure.
It really can be, but when it's used this way, and what we're doing is we're bringing this information out to tell you guys, don't be the chucklehead that goes and buys the $10.87 Mark McGuire.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait for it to come back down because it will. We have 20 years. Okay, so that home run chase was a 98. Mm-hmm. That was the peak of McGuire cards, right?
Right.
So that's been 22 years ago. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
We have 22 years of solid data where that card came back down and it settled right where it should be. Say it's $1 card. That's fine. Yeah. That's a good price for the card. A PSA 10, maybe a 20 spot if you don't have one, right? Because of the printing and the gum and all that. Okay, that's fine. But that's insane, guys. That's insane. Everybody talked trash about 87 tops for so long and all these like 90 Fleer Sammy Sosas. That's like, guys, just a couple of days ago, that was a card that was just tossed in a box somewhere or thrown away.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of Fleer update, Ron Gantz and Bip Roberts, if anyone wants them.
Yeah, buy the Bips.
Well, those Gantz, I mean, Dub Mentality will go broke. He'll write you over his next 8 paychecks, dude.
So just be careful. And I think John said, hey, if you're paying for advice on how to buy cards, then something's wrong. There's a ton of us out there that will give you free knowledge. Hell, this show.
So we have 2 podcasts represented here this evening, and we're 4 co-hosts of the collaborative Hobby Hotline. And I forget Val did the math, and we had over 200 years of collective card collecting knowledge, right? And we have people that have owned card shops, people that are breakers. We're not going to sit here and say we're the end all be all experts on any given subject, but we would all give free advice. Why? Because we take advice too from other people. We all have questions.
I learn stuff every day. Ben, and I've been doing this a long time. I learned stuff tonight in the hour and a half or whatever it's been. But here's my thing. I don't even mind if someone wants to pay $10 for the 87 Topps McGuire. But don't pay someone $10 to tell you to buy the 87 Topps McGuire for $10.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have. Make your own decision, do your own research. If you're not comfortable, don't make the purchase, but don't pay someone. Like you just said, any one of us will answer a private message, a public message, and give an honest opinion and assessment. But don't pay anybody.
Somebody asked me the other day about selling a Fleer Metal Jordan card that they got back. And, it was me, watched the breaks, a few other guys, and, Ivan and I went and pulled the recent eBay comps and sales, and I sent them as a DM. Ivan put it out public, and I was like, dude, someone offered $350 for that. Sell it now because that card's falling apart because the documentary showed over, the hype's over, that kind of stuff. So, just be
there was a guy that I was making the comment about the 85 McGuire, and this guy comes at me, and he's like, listen, dude, he goes, sell me all your Jordans at prices 30 days ago. And I was like, all right, first off, you have to understand how a bell curve works. And 30 days ago, right in the middle of this documentary, was the height of the Jordan craze, or it was already starting on a downward trend at that point. I was like, so buying it 30 days ago, you're already an idiot. because that's not the right time. You probably meant 90 days ago. But I was like, the caveat is wait 60 more days. If I were to sell you all of my Maguires at 30 days ago, you cannot sell them right now. You have to wait 60 days. And I guarantee you're going to lose money because that's how the bell curve works. It goes up, it peaks, and it goes down.
And it might not go down back to where it was, but it's definitely
it might
down
stop
from the
somewhere
peak.
at the line. Yeah. You run a trend analysis on this, and it's static, and then it's got peaks here and there, right, as people buy and things happen. Maybe these cards are never 75 cents ever again, but they're definitely not $10. They're going to drop down to $2. And again, this card is 33 years old. If you don't have one by now, you never wanted one.
Especially 87, man.
I mean, just.
Well, you could have been. I mean, in fairness, you could have been in a coma for 32 years.
You could have been. You could have been.
Why now is that the one card you try and chase down?
Yeah, be smart. Oh, there's a documentary next month on so and so.
All right.
Now's not the time to buy on that particular card or that particular person.
Let's start this. What random baseball player can we start to tell people to buy right now? And make
Ron.
I got one too.
Let's do Ron Gant. Let's increase.
It's got to be someone way more random than Ron Gant. Oh man!
I just want Dubs. I just want his market
Eddie Cobbins.
Rich is set actually.
Eddie Perez. Let's just do all these random Eddie catchers.
Random backup Eddie catchers.
Benito Santiago was the man.
87 traded Benito Santiago. Buy now, buy.
I'm going Greg Jeffries because I have a lot of Greg Jeffries.
Johnny's ready to cash out on his 1990 investment.
Dave Maggin and 87 Topps Future Stars.
89 Donruss Tom Prince.
And now there's going to be a run on Little Big League because Dave Maggin was – what was the line when he's like, I love you, Dave, but I hope you burn or die a dog death or something. I forget the line at the end of that movie.
So Chris Height on Twitter bought the orange 2019 Topps complete set from Target. So they're $49 or $59. And they come with some like Topps rookie Chrome cards, like best of. Mm-hmm. And he pulled a Mike Trout Chrome rookie, and on the back it's like tells you about the card, but it's numbered 5 out of 10, and it's flipping autographed. How awesome! How awesome is that?
It's not on the notes.
What's up? It's not in the notes. No, I'm just looking at it here in Twitter. I'll send it over to you so you can pull it up. But no, I was flipping through Twitter before the show and saw this and could not believe that a Trout, and it's got the chrome finish on everything. So and it's an iconic card. It just looks super cool. Like, what would you do? You spend $50 on a complete set. You open it up, and there is the Trout auto. So he startled his wife by yelling out.
Even Charlie Bucket found a golden ticket. So that's awesome. It's good to hear when, I was talking to Topps Living Stat, and he's been buying the turn back the clocks, and, they're all supposed to be randomly inserted. And he heard of a guy who bought the Willie Mays from the other day, the New York Met version. And the one he got sent was the cherry out of 7. One card. He wasn't a bulk buyer. And to me, it's like, that's what I love to hear about buying some of this stuff, when it's not the guys that are, the bots and all this stuff, the people that are buying. As much as I love Twins Jake and he's a good dude and he's buying a lot of stuff. So just, you're doing the math. He's going to get some of this stuff just by, the sheer math of it.
Yeah.
But you want to see this stuff randomly inserted. And for somebody that's just a me, a you, right? One of us that just buys the one that we want, to be able to get rewarded once in a while is nice. It's just, it's nice to have one of just the normal guys grab something once in a while.
No, yeah, no, definitely. And today I ran into a guy that was at the card shop who recently got back into collecting. His name was Dan, and he started collecting Lonzo Ball like crazy. And when he was down, he started buying more ball, and he couldn't believe the low prices he was getting for these autos and these Prism cards. He's turned and he had the shoebox, and he had almost 2 rows full still of stuff. I sold one shoebox already, basically, and I bought myself a 9 Jordan rookie card for all these Lonzo balls. And he goes, I wasn't even trying to do it, but I was buying so many in such a low price. And now his stuff started going back up. I just started selling it, and then all of a sudden I had this money, and I bought a Jordan rookie, and that's super cool to hear. And we start talking about, and hopefully he's listening to the show. I told him to check us out, and he seemed pretty cool. But it's these things like, what's going on right now? There's so much and so much money coming in to the hobby. But there's so many of us that have been in the hobby and we've expected it at a certain level. I think it's just, guys, we're just going to need to wait through it and do what we can. And there's still plenty of stuff to be had, plenty of deals to be had. You just got to know where to look and what to do. And, it's good because it's bringing spotlight in here, right? There's more publicity coming back into it a little bit. And that is always a good thing. And people say whatever they want about Gary Vee, and you can take him or leave him. He's brought some of that in, and that's fine. But just be smart about it. Look, do your own research or ask questions. And there's enough of us here to be able to do that. So, guys, any final things before we head out tonight?
Let's give away something. Let's give away.
Johnny, you're up first, bud.
All right. So before I say this, what Tim said is right, man. Be smart. Hang on. Right now, I've been doing this a long time. This is the craziest I've ever seen it. You got Forbes doing stories on the hobby. You got ESPN doing hobby stories. Just kind of ride the wave out. Things will kind of settle down. Dust always will settle. Be smart about where you're spending your money. Don't get in over your head. Don't pay anybody. There's too many people out who will give you stuff for free for you to pay for it. So no need to do that. But speaking of Jordan and a little bit inflated stuff, but this is a 94 Birmingham Barons baseball minor leagues, the whole set. Classic best. And so I'm going to give it away to somebody either watching the show now or even later on. So go to YouTube, like the show, put in the comments, MJ, Michael Jordan, all the comments I see that say something related to Jordan. I'll put them on a randomizer list. We'll roll dice, randomize it, and whoever comes out on top, I'll send it their way.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on tonight too.
Oh man, this was a blast. I was a rookie tonight on the show. Speaking of rookies,
Benjamin, you said you had something tonight, bud?
Yeah, we've been trying to get Johnny on the show for it seems like a year and a half now. So first off, I'm excited. I gotta run out of town this weekend. I'm gonna go pick up some stuff in Fairfield, which is about an hour away, 45 minutes away from me, and I'm excited to listen to the Hobby Hotline because while I'm driving, I'll be listening to you three guys.
Oh, we should just
so that's exciting.
Trash him.
I know it'd be great because I won't be in a position where I can call in and defend myself. So
let's do it, guys.
I'll ask Dr. Beckett what he thinks about investment versus collector.
Right over Tim's left shoulder. So if you're watching the video, you'll be seeing it to the right of his head is an awesome George Brett, one of a kind piece of artwork from our listener John P. This week he sent me this.
Wow,
which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome with a personalized note on the back, which I won't read because it's personal. But he asked me, he's like, he had two things. He's like, which one do you think your dad would like? And he sent this to my dad.
That's cool.
This is a picture of Boba Fett, and again, it's got something personal to my dad on the back of it from JP. John P has been such a fantastic listener and friend. We want to wish him our best. He had some health issues a while back. He seems to be doing much better. how gracious he's been, the gratitude he's had towards our show.
We even got him on Twitter.
Yeah. Plus, yeah, we got him. We talked him into getting Twitter. He was had a question right early on about how do I figure out what I want to collect, and we walked him through it. And he's really focused on some hockey stuff and young guns, and he's just been such a good hobby friend. He's a big supporter of the Hobby Hotline. So it's been awesome, and for him to do something like that for us personally. It touches our hearts in a way that we can't even begin to thank him. So we really appreciate him and everybody out there that listens and supports us for allowing all of us, including John's show, in the Hobby Hotline. I mean, we wouldn't do this if we weren't having fun and we didn't have all of you guys to enjoy this with.
Yeah, you can find him on Twitter, Blades of Steel 79.
That was my note because I got this in the mail from him early, right after the show last week.
Oh,
nice. Sweet. That's
by
number
the way,
99, right?
No.
Isn't that the green parallel?
I don't see a serial number. Maybe it is.
I have to say something. Topps Inception this year. Wow.
Yeah, it was a good looking product.
And that was like $65, $70 a box. Like, because I told you guys how I did that war, and I ended up winning 3 boxes. Mm-hmm. But it's now up to like $150 a box, and I still think that's a good deal for they did something different this year, and that stuff is awesome. You said, Steph, you had 2?
That's
no, you're good. Yeah, okay. I just quick thing too, guys. You guys have all been as we hit 100 episodes next week. Episode 2, what is it? Will be like 104 will be 2 full years of being on every week. We're so happy. What's up?
So I think we've missed 2 weeks.
Yeah, and to do that, I mean, the first 4th of July we didn't do a show because it was on the 4th of July. We should have done one. We look back and we said we should have just done one, but no, it's been awesome. There's been so many people that have supported and been on the show, and we're gonna run through a bunch of those people next week. If you guys have a fun story or something you want to share about the cards that you've liked or enjoyed over our 100 episode or first 99 episodes, send them our way at aboutthecardspod@gmail.com or on Twitter about the cards, and let us know. I want to do a big shout out to 3B Collection. He and John P lately have been just champing, like carrying these flags for our show, and we really appreciate it. Foul 5 Ball has been involved for quite some time. All the guests and the people. I mean, it in the 2 years we've been doing, it's been amazing to help start the Hobby Hotline and be a big part of that. To go to the national and sit and on the Beckett main stage doing a presser type thing, to do an event there. To all the people and friends we've made and met, it's tremendous, and we hope to carry that on. But we'd love you guys to share, the reason why you keep tuning in and listen to the chuckleheads here, talk about guys on cardboard. We'd really appreciate that, and we and thank you so much. And so I appreciate that. But any other final thoughts before we head out this evening?
No, I don't think you can put it any better. I guess for coming on.
Just hey man, congratulations. That's a big 100 is, you do anything for that long, you're doing something right. And you said, none of us are what could do what we do without the community as a whole listening and promoting and talking about us. And I think you summed it up pretty good. But congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
No, we appreciate it. I did have one last thing. Last week after the Hobby Hotline was over, myself and about a dozen other people, Steph included, hopped on to a Zoom meeting. We had Uncle Rich on there. A couple of our listeners, 3B Collection was on there. And it was just, we talked for about an hour about nothing and everything. It was card related, sports related. It was, some banter back and forth. It was totally awesome. There was a little bit of a glitch where a couple people that wanted to get in couldn't. I would love to be able to host one or at least be a part of one if somebody who's a little bit more technologically in tune with how that works wants to host it. Maybe we can do it again on one of these Saturdays coming up and get 30 people. It'd be fantastic. Just a way to kind of just all of us sitting there around on a Saturday afternoon talking about the hobby that we love. There are moments of silence where nobody had anything to say, and then somebody pops in with something, and 12 people try to talk at once. So it was awesome. Can't wait for the next one. So
that's great.
Let's do it again soon, guys.
Yeah. And Matt Brens says great show tonight. I think he might have been one of the guys who was in there, right?
He was as well. Yeah, absolutely. He was. And, we had.
And I actually I told him I'd give him $5 for saying that. So it's in the mail.
But you have to subscribe to John's new Discord chat. Otherwise, you can't get it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
send me
give
$10? I'll tell you what to buy.
Can I do a shameless plug, fellas, before we end tonight?
Let's do it.
So I'm bored a little bit, and in between projects here at the house, and so for cards. So, and I'm missing card shows. So I'm doing my quarter boxes. So if you have, I posted it today. Like I listed some star players I've pulled aside for quarter boxes, $5 for $1. If you want 100 cards, it's $15. So check it out and let me know. Or if you're a team collector and you're looking for stars or inserts, I can do the same for you. So, let me send some stuff your way. Guys, remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and everywhere else. 10 Central. Remember to watch the Hobby Highline this Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Call with any questions, comments. We appreciate the support. 3 of the 4 of us will be on this week. Make sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter about the cards. Follow Ben at our trading cards. Follow Stuff at Junk Wax Twins. Follow John at Sports Card Natty 1. Always follow me at Big Shep 79. Please share your hobby stories, great pulls. Send your questions our way. Keep collecting, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Let's do it.